The toxic friends bring that dark energy, obviously.
Mm.
But you know what? I'm going to say toxic friends because you don't really know how dark and negative they can be because they're
Yeah.
putting on a front that they love you, they're here for you. There's a lot more dramatics and like.
Your turn. Today's guest is Davina, published author, energy practitioner, spiritual life coach, and the host of the Divine Healing by Dee podcast. She's been a Reiki Master for over a decade and has spent the last 5 years interviewing world experts in spirituality and wellness. Davina's here to talk about sex, spells, and sacred sabotage, and she's not holding anything back. Davina, you had us at period, sex, and blood magic. This episode is going to be something else.
Oh, yeah.
How does being a Reiki master end up talking about spiritual gossip and dating disasters?
Oof. Well, when I am working on someone, when I'm doing Reiki on someone, this sounds really outlandish, but I'm able to see letters, scenes. I'm able to hear sayings, hear full on sentences. I'm able to decipher what is trapped in your body. And if you are going through a horrible breakup, I don't know any of that information beforehand. If you are in a complicated relationship with somebody and you don't really know where you stand, I will see that. I have been able to see, especially when I'm on the heart chakra, I'm able to see letters, I'm able to see names. I'm able to sense if somebody has left some bad energy on you, has given you evil eye. I've seen even in different languages, which that hasn't really happened much, but it's slowly starting to happen. And I'm like, oh, wow, like this goes a lot deeper. And that's kind of how I learned more about how period sex could really tie you to someone for the rest of your life. And they could literally imprint themselves and their energy on your soul.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Yeah. Wow. Tell us what's more dangerous, dark energy or toxic friends?
Dark energy or toxic friends?
Mhm.
That's a really good question. The toxic friends bring that dark energy, obviously.
Mm.
But you know what? I'm going to say toxic friends because you don't really know how dark and negative they can be because they're
Yeah.
putting on a front that they love you, they're here for you. There's a lot more dramatics and like acting when it comes to toxic friends. But with
Yep.
dark energy, you see, like you're getting what you see, but with friends, you're not really getting what you see. There's always hidden, like you can be friends with someone for decades and sometimes not even know who they are, if their intentions are.
Yeah,
So
true.
I would say that toxic friends.
Wow. It's just I'm watching you. Oh, come on. I'm not that dark. I'm quite fair. What pulled you into the world of energy work and spiritual coaching?
So I had a friend, she's a religious Jew and she was very open to energy healing. And she said, I have this lady you need to meet. And I was like, okay, whatever. I was like opening myself up to it. I'm like, what does she do exactly? She goes, well, she takes you into a room and she gives you a box of crystals and you pick from those crystals and then she tells you about your life. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go. I wasn't in the best mindset at that time. I was really like down in the dumps. My energy was really bad. I was fighting with multiple people in my family. I just didn't feel understood. I just felt very low. So I went to her and this lady kind of blew my mind. She knew things about me. She told me I had this just by looking at my feet. She told me I had this like condition that I didn't know what it was. And then over time I found out I actually have that condition, which was freaky. So she basically did energy healing on me. And after that, I was like, you know what? I have to do what she's doing. So I learned about Reiki. I went and I got certified privately. And then from there, I just started to become more open and wanting to try other healing modalities. And that's when my intuition just kept growing and growing and growing. And that's how it really started. But like, that's also when the growth really started for me too.
Yeah,
The
right.
person.
Yeah, okay. So how did Divine Healing by Dee get started, and what's it like to keep going for 5 years?
So Divine Healing by D got started, I hate to say because of a guy, but I always wanted to have a podcast.
Yeah.
I just felt very scared. And it wasn't until this guy that I was married to him now, thankfully.
Okay.
He was like, you
We were
have
going the other
to.
way there for a minute.
I know, right? I know. I could too. So he's like, you know, why not? Like, who cares what people think? Like, be yourself. Like, it's time for you love this. You love interviewing people. You love learning. Like, everyone has a podcast now. So I started to reach out to a lot of people, and slowly I just built a following, and I didn't have to reach out to anyone else anymore. So now I let guests just come to me, which is really fun. And I feel like it it's more organic that way. And I've just interviewed the most amazing and just brilliant people. I'm like so honored and like grateful that I'm able to like talk to so many people like that would never like take me seriously ever, but they apparently aren't because they come on my podcast. I'm like why? Why you?
Yeah,
Well, it's great. It's fun.
Yeah.
Intriguing and
Yeah.
yeah. Well, if your energy were a product in a metaphysical adult store toy, what would it be?
Love that. Oh my God. This is like bizarre. Oh,
Go on.
I have to say it. Like, how about like a time traveling vibrator or dildo?
Okay.
Traveling.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah,
I like that.
that would be fun.
You were starting to think a lot, and I'm like, she's got a lot of toys. She's been into a lot of stores. She's thinking, what part of the store? What's one thing you've learned from your guests that has totally surprised you?
It was kind of harsh, but like no one cares about you.
Yeah, right.
On your own. You're on your own.
Yeah.
And for himself. Basically that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you believe period sex is both powerful and risky?
So I am gonna reference what's in the Torah in the Bible. It's stated in the Bible. So as a Jewish woman, when you get married, there's some laws to follow. Not everyone follows everything. I certainly do not. But a very special mitzvah is to keep like the family purity. So when a woman's on her period, when the wife's on her period, they abstain from sex, and then she counts like 7 full days after her last like bleeding, and then she dips in a ritual bath. So when we go dip in that ritual bath, we're basically we're cleaning the death, meaning the period, because it didn't contribute to a fetus. And when you are engaging in period sex with someone that you're not tied to really emotionally, and you're just tied to them physically, let's say, like every other fact, you're not tied to them. You are basically you are taking on their blood takes on their energy, and it kind of like stamps your soul, like, oh, like a passport, like he was here, she was here. When you collect those stamps, it causes a lot, especially if that person is like really toxic and really negative. When you're collecting those stamps, you take on that energy, and whoever you have sex with after that, they are with them as well. So it's like when you collect all those souls, especially if they're all very toxic, it's like you're kind of, if that person, for example, has like really bad depression, really bad anxiety, and then suddenly you're suffering from anxiety and depression when you were like under control, it's probably their energy. So you're able to basically collect people's energy when you engage in period sex.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow. What is blood magic, and why should people not mess with it lightly?
I'll tell you a really crazy story.
Mhm.
So there was this woman. Apparently, this was a big practice in my parents' country, Iran. There was this woman that she would feed her menstrual blood
Mhm.
to her husband. So back in the day, it was a big thing if you wanted to trap a man, you
Right.
would feed your period blood.
Wow.
Right.
This woman took hormones well into her 80s, which is insane,
Wow.
Yep.
to bleed,
Yeah. Wow.
to fake a period. I don't know how you could she did that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she got very, very sick and she died a terrible, terrible death. Very, very sick. The day of her funeral, her husband was his arms were covered in like red blotchy marks, like something like from like he was in a plague or something. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. They went to the hospital. They found out he had sepsis,
Right.
Oh.
like right after she was buried.
Yeah. Right.
And when someone ingests blood for that long, think about it, almost 60 plus years,
Yeah.
his body was like healing. It was cleansing.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
So it was known back then if you feed someone your blood, they become obsessed with you.
Yeah. Right.
That
Yeah.
makes that does make a bit of sense.
Yeah. It does.
As odd
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah.
It's super odd. It's super gross, but there was a lot of that done in many countries. But because I'm Iranian, like I know more obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
don't mess with that.
No.
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 Oh, lordy. Where are we at? Well, my turn.
Yep.
Okay, so what's one thing you've learned from your guests that's totally surprised you?
Oh,
We've lost
I
you.
answered that.
Oh, yeah.
there we are.
Hi. I answered that, right?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Told you
Oh,
we.
I answered again, but I answered that.
Glasses.
She won't wear her
Oh,
glasses.
Oh, I sort of need them, not all the time. In denial. How can friends sabotage our relationships even without even realizing it?
So I always tell my friends if you're dating someone, don't even tell me, even though I have the best interest for
Uh-huh.
them, obviously.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that in the past, if I ever brought up that I liked a guy, I thought he was cute, I would always get met with like, oh, well, I know he did this to so and so. Oh, he's cheap. He's this, he's that. And then that'll basically distort your idea of this person who could possibly be your person or be really good for you. Or even yet, maybe he's going to suck for you, but he needs to teach you some lessons for the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting in the way of your journey and it's bad karma for them to, not let you date said person.
Yeah.
They have to just let you learn on your own. But sometimes there are friends that are just so deep down they're miserable and they go out of their way to do that. But then we have people who are just like, I'm looking out for so and so. But at the end of the day, that they're not looking out for you. They're actually ruining your chance. So I always suggest to people, like, you're dating someone, shut your mouth, keep it quiet.
Yeah.
And when it's on the DL, usually
Yeah.
leads to marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. Truth or not, gossip in its own form of black magic. Sorry, gossip is its own form of black magic.
True.
Yeah.
Like 100 over. We have so we basically have a concept. It's called evil speech, evil tongue.
Yeah.
And actually, my husband reads a lot about it now. Like, he's told me something very interesting. He's like, the more you speak evil speech, for example, like your hair can go gray more prematurely. You can get skin lesions.
Oh, excellent.
when you
naturally great. It's just this part though.
that one,
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, why did I go gray all of a sudden? Maybe people shouldn't mess with me that I don't have to talk shit. Anyway, it's more like, for example, like you're up for a great job, and then suddenly, you have that urge to go talk about so and so at a party, and it's not nice things. You can lose that job. So that's a big concept. Like it could literally like save you from, this is extreme, but it could save you from death. So
Yeah.
it's really bad.
yeah. Okay.
Sort of like a karma thing, really, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Bring it on yourself.
Well, that too.
Mm.
Yes.
Right. Now, give us a comforting version for someone just starting out on their journey.
So I would find a mentor. I would read a lot of books, and I would be open to saying yes to anything that revolves around like spirituality, wellness, like go to events, join a club, find that one woo-woo friend, stick to him or her. I would explore crystals. I would go to a crystal shop and not even just ask someone working there, like, what do you think is good for me? Just see what you gravitate towards. So if you go to a crystal shop and you pick like 5 crystals, that's usually, they stand for things that you need. So I would start there and just like keep an open mind and try not to have judgment. Don't judge.
So what crystal would you suggest for someone that's is there such a thing with a low libido to try and get that energy back?
Great question. So what I would suggest is anything for the root chakra. I really like carnelian. I really like tiger's eye. I would, if you're dealing with anything reproductive, also, if you have any like reproductive problems, I would put a tiger's eye like literally at the end, like in between your legs. I do that a lot, and it's very, very powerful. It's just very cleansing. If you have like past life stuff, if you have current life stuff, it just like really goes in there and just takes everything out. Also, carnea. Ooh, bloodstone. Bloodstone's really good, especially for women who have like really bad PMS, any other reproductive stuff. That's great to wear. And yeah, I would stick to like the brown and black crystals. Usually like where you can figure out where to go. Like the blues and the greens are on the neck and the heart. The head, you do like the white, the purples, it's white purple. Yeah, pink also on the chest. So I like to keep that like little model in my head for people.
Yeah.
Interesting. We've got a really awesome crystal shop near us, and Kel's there nearly every second day. And is it true that you put your crystals out in full moon to re-energize the crystal? Yeah. Okay.
Well, you can't always wait for a full moon either. So what I suggest is what you could do is obviously like search which crystals you can't put in water. You can put them in salt water. You can run them under cold water. Like that's really the easiest thing. You could sage them, you could Palo Santo them. There's tons of sprays on the market that you can use to cleanse. And yeah, make sure you cleanse them, because over time when it collects energy, it can cause more harm.
Yeah, right. I love my crystals.
Yes, you guys love a crystal. We'll send chats to each other, and I'll be like, it's full moon, ladies. It's between the three of us, and we're out there searching through and grabbing crystals. Now we don't have to do that.
No, we don't. What would you say to someone who feels disconnected from their sensual or spiritual power?
I just like remember this story from that healer that I learned Reiki from. So this is a very religious lady, which is kind of funny. So my friend, that same friend, was hosting a talk at her home, and this was like maybe a year or two after I saw her. Yeah. And she saw me and she was like, oh my God, I remember you. You're the journalist, which I found kind of funny because like I'm not technically a journalist, but I'm like an author. And we're sitting down and she goes, and this is how she starts to talk. She goes, what makes you guys think that a man, remember, like religious lady,
Yep.
what makes you guys think that a man is going to want to marry you and have sex with you if you can't have sex with yourself?
Right.
Want to get married? Go home tonight? Pleasures. Meanwhile, like, when the parents are in the corner, this is their house, and a bunch of like these religious girls are like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. So
Did you just say that?
yeah, she really did. She really did. And I think like that's probably like the best way to start with self-love. I think that's the best connect to yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
Like that, like without that, I don't think you could do anything else. I don't think it would matter.
Mhm.
No.
You know,
You got to
really
get to
wanna-
know your body, right?
Yeah.
And once you know your pleasure zones, then you can then share that
Mhm.
and enjoy it.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that's
So
what we're
start with
about.
that.
Yeah.
What practice helps you stay grounded when life gets chaotic for you?
Well, I love my crystals, but lately I'm really into red light. That really calms me down.
Okay. What's red light?
So I basically just got a red light stand. It's like a panel with just it emits this red light that's supposed to be very calming for
Mhm.
inflammation. It helps me with my pain. I just feel kind of like on a high, like I'm just like floating after I do it. And I don't listen to them when they say do 10 minutes. Like I'll sit under it while I do like 400 other things. Like I can go up to an hour and it's the best. And I make sure to like walk a lot for my mental health.
Yeah.
And I also feel like it helps me like keep my cravings at bay and like my blood sugar like stable because I feel like my mood is determined by my blood sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I really recommend that like people should just like walk more to like stabilize their blood sugar. I also read somewhere that like doing 10 squats an hour is really good.
Okay.
I can't even do one.
I know. I was like, should I try? And I was like, no way.
I'm down. I'm
Every
like,
hour.
I can't get back up.
Yeah. I'm down.
I can't get up. Oh, wow. So where can people find your podcast, your book, or work with you?
So you can email me at Divine Healing by D and also just DM me on Instagram. It's the same thing, Divine
Yep.
Healing by D.
Yep.
I have a link in my bio that you can listen to my podcasts and schedule like calls. So I have you could do like tarot readings with me. I could do Reiki sessions. I do coaching sessions. I'm offering some new services for businesses and I'm getting into like doing like real estate commercial space cleansings, which have been like really
Oh,
fun
that's
and
really
interesting.
good.
That's,
Yeah.
cool.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Imagine the faces of like these big tough mans when you tell them what to do. And they're like, oh, well, I can't move this property. I'm like, I'll help you move this.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, that's true. I love it.
What else? There's so many questions we could ask you.
I know.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's interesting. I guess when we come back to, we help a lot of menopausal women in our work. As we said, we work in an adult store retail sector, and yeah, look, menopausal women. What would say your advice be for them to maybe help cleanse, try and clear things through? What would you think?
If they haven't tried Reiki yet, I think that would be great to just realign their chakras.
Mhm.
And I really think it's important to kind of have a community of women dealing with the same thing. So it's like either if they have like,
We gotcha. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, you're not
Yeah.
going through that yet, but we are.
I'm very close to my mom and her friends and like my older cousins. So like I see what they're going through. And it's kind of funny, especially since my mom really had a dream recently of my cousin having a child. And I was telling her son the other day, and she's like, I know she's not. I've lived with her before. I know she's not. That was pretty funny. Anyway, I know what everyone's going through. I just feel like having the community and also just like I feel like when you get to menopause, you like don't give a shit anymore. Also, it's just continuing that
Yeah.
like mindset. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, no one cares.
Yeah.
We shouldn't actually.
That was my mom too.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
shouldn't actually be allowed to drive. Like the main
Road rage.
road rage. Yeah, definitely.
0
Like,
to
don't
100.
stop caring. Like, why do you need to stress?
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Davina, thank you so much for dropping your spiritual bombs, bombs and magical mic moments today with us. It's so intriguing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. If this episode opened your mind, stirred your energy, or just made you laugh nervously, go hit follow and leave us a cheeky 5-star review. You might just clear some karmic debt while you're at it. I have.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me. That was
Thank you so much, Davina.
Right out there getting tiger's eye and stuff and between my legs. Does that have to be very big?
No, mine is like this big,
Okay.
and it does the job.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm onto it now.
Yeah. We're going to the crystal shop.
We
I
are.
love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Davina. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
You
Bye.
too. Have a good day.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.